welcome to another episode of Sassy Sales Ops. I'm Hillary Kay, your host, and today we're going to talk about reports and reporting basics. So again, I'm in my Trailhead Developer org. So we're going to, every time you log in, you have all of your objects right here across the top for you. You're going to click into the Reports tab, and within Lightning you have the ability to search for reports that are most recent. So any of the most recent reports that you create or you look at are going to fall here. You have options to look at created by me, your private reports, depending on where you're saving those, all reports, public reports, etc. You can go down. You can even search by folder. So when you are saving reports to specific folders, you can go in here and search that way. In a later episode, I'll get into sharing and how to share and how to build folders. But for now, just know that you can save in your private folders, but those are going to be only visible to you. If you put in a public, anyone in your org can see. Otherwise, if you do create specific folders, you do have to share with the people that you want to share the report or the links to. So just understand that if someone says, I can't see this report, if you send them the URL, it's probably just the sharing permissions on whichever folder the report is saved in, or it's in your private folder and you just have to move it to a different folder. When you come into reporting, you can click new folder here. You can go into Salesforce Classic, or if you click new report, it's going to ask you which report type you would like to use. These are all of the different folder options, and then all of the report types are listed here. So just depending on how your admins are creating report types and putting them in the different group buckets, they will show up here when you click through. Otherwise, all of the standard reports are going to be pulled in. One thing I will mention, that if you need a relationship between two objects and you don't see the report type in here, you can always ask your admin to create that for you. As long as the objects are related in some way, you'll be able to pull custom report types. For now, let's go ahead and just click on a accounts report. So I'll kind of talk through the different sections on the report now. So there are kind of three main sections that I like to think about when I am building reports. One is the outline, two is the filters, and then three, this is your canvas, which is going to show you a little bit of a sneak peek, or almost like a demo example of what your full report's going to look like. And then you can hit run to see the full report. So just know when you're looking at this canvas, if it's not everything that should be pulled into the report, it's only because this is just a preview. One thing in Lightning, if you do want your updates to update automatically within this preview view, you will have to flip the toggle switch here, which I like to do. Otherwise, you have to hit run every time in order for it to toggle. Sometimes if your internet is slow, though, you might not want to update this every single time because it does render once it needs to update. Think of these three sections as, your canvas or your preview. Filters are what you want to look at. So right now, this is showing me my accounts. This is really good for sales reps or SDRs or people that actually own accounts. But for me as an admin, I'm not going to see anything in this view when I hit run because I don't own any accounts. So I would flip this down to all accounts. There is also another option for my team's accounts. So if you do have your role hierarchies set up, your managers will be able to create reports and say my team's accounts. So as long as their team is under them in the role and you have the right profiles and roles associated, then they'll be able to see their team's accounts. So just depending on who's pulling the report, who needs to look at it, and what you want to see, that's what these filters are for. Again, I didn't have the preview, but I don't have any data in the sandbox, so you won't see anything anyway, so I'll just leave that off. The created date, so right now I'm showing all accounts that were created on or after September 11, 2020. If you want to change that around, if you wanted to see all of the accounts in your database, you would change this to all time. So that's kind of a secret just to right away. I typically just change these two filters and go from there, because this is going to show me all of the accounts that were created. I don't care when they were created, and it'll show me all of them in the account. When I flip over to outline, this is going to be the fields that are visible across your report. And here I'm going to actually flip this so that goes away. So if you look at these columns here, right, last activity, account owner, account name, these are going to be all the visible fields once I hit run that go all the way across this report. If you know what, you can click on this, and then the fields that are available for the report are going to pull in. So let's say I wanted to show account revenue. I can pull that in. Let's say that I, whatever fields I need, I can pull in. The account ID is always the most important as an admin, because if you are exporting this or you need to use data loader or you're updating in mass, you'll just need that account ID for the data loader. If you want to look at a list view of these and not just scroll through, the list as you click into it, you can just move this side panel over, and then you can use these to either drag and drop, or you can click these over here as well. And you can search down the field here. If you want to group, so you can add group rows. So let's say I wanted to filter by state, or group, excuse me. So I could group by billing state or country here, and then it would group these underneath each other. So you don't always have to have, just a one single row. You can add group columns. You can also group your columns if you'd like to do that. We'll do this by, let's do type, and you can see how that spaces out here as well. This is here because of my summarization. Maybe I don't want to summarize these, but I just want to have a record count of the different states and then the different types of customers that are in here. Once I hit run, I will have a split row like this. If I don't want to see the details underneath, I can always hit the detail row toggles on the bottom to where you can just pull these away if you don't want to see those. So that's grouping them. Again, if you just wanted to do it this way, you could do that as well. And that's what this report looks like when you just group by one field. You can group up to 3 fields, and once you have a grouping, you can add a chart. So as long as you have a grouping, you can add a chart properties. Maybe I want to do a donut, show percentages to see what states percentage wise I have in here. And then you can kind of play around with some of those settings as well. Of course, if I hit save, I want to make sure that I save counts by state. I always just put as much definition as I can in the report name, because you are going to be creating hundreds of reports. So you just want to keep track of all of them, or if you wanted to, you can put them in different folders. Again, so this is private folders, only you can see it. Public folders, everyone can see. Or if you start building specific folders, maybe for specific dashboards or teams or whatever you want to create new folders for, you can save those reports in those specific folders as well. If this video helped you through your reporting needs or some of those basics, go ahead and hit the like button down at the bottom of the page. Also, Sassy Sales Ops, go ahead and subscribe so you get notified each time I build a video. And as always, in the comments, or drop me an email at sassysalesops@gmail.com if you ever have any suggestions or tips or things that you want me to cover. I'm happy to do that. So again, thank you for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.